Leader Pete McMullen in the hot seat now to go through his busy night on Saturday night. He joins us. Pete, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris.
As per normal for you, it's a busy night. We start with a recipe for dreaming in race 1. He's drawn gate 8, the inside of the second rows. You're going to need that little bit of luck here.
Yeah, but I think that probably suits this horse. He's a horse that's always thereabouts, and sometimes when he's just covered up with a nice sort of trip, nice and handy, he can really respond off that.
I've got to ask the question with this guy, Recipe for Dreaming. We see him so often. Is he a difficult horse to drive? Is he one of those horses you've really got to keep the bit up in his mouth?
He's a horse, you do have to keep the bit up in his mouth. I really love driving the horse. He's a lovely old horse to drive, and he can sort of do a little bit, but as you said, you just got to keep the bit in his mouth and make him think he's a champion. And if you can do that, he'll sort of keep going all day.
Yeah, he raced on Tuesday, probably on face value a little disappointing, but he wasn't all that far away in the end. So with a little bit of luck, he can certainly feature their Recipe for Dreaming. Race 2, King of the Stars. He might be the same. Is he a horse that you need to keep the bit in his mouth?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he's been around a bit, and sometimes he forgets how good he can be. So you got to keep reminding him and keep telling him how good he is. So if you can do that, he'll sort of keep trucking all day. But once he's done, he sort of struggles a little bit. So yeah, he's a tricky horse sometimes to drive, but also can be very fun to drive. So fingers crossed he's slowly coming back into form. So hopefully we can sort of get nice and close and make something of it.
Okay, I was going to say he looks like he's getting a little better. His past couple of runs have been better. He went through that real flat patch, but his last couple now have been okay.
Yeah, obviously he was really down and out for quite a while, but he slowly has been getting better. So, I'm sure a win's just around the corner.
All right, race number 4 again for Graham Dwyer. So Bob's your uncle. You drove this guy on Tuesday, and he was really good. You played it perfectly, waited for the right horse to hand over to. It happened to be King of the Stars, and then he just shot through via the passing lane. So thoroughly deserved win, that one.
Yeah, he's been racing really good for quite a period of time, and obviously the ace draw on there on Tuesday, and we just were able to just sit there and smoke the pipe, and he took his shot late, and he won quite easy. And with the right run, this horse can be quite lethal.
Okay, and that was a huge class drop on Tuesday, because last Saturday night in that Rich Quali race, he actually went okay, and that was the race that had big wheels in it. So it was a strong race, so a huge class drop there on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, he'd been sort of racing Saturday nights each week, and a couple of times there his splits were pretty good, just didn't have a lot of luck.
Okay, race number 5 on Saturday night, Major Fernco. Draw looks a little sticky on paper, out in gate 6. Are you happy with where he's at, or is he a little bit frustrating right now?
No, he has been a little bit frustrating of late. He just had a bit of a let up over Christmas and probably hasn't come back quite the same. I think each week he has got a little bit better, but it's certainly taken longer than what is expected to get him back to his form prior to Christmas there. And last week I thought he was okay. His splits were okay. Time was strong, but previous to that he had a soft lead and couldn't bring it home. So fingers crossed, we're on the way up.
How does this race play out from gate 6? Are you likely to go back?
Yeah, look, I think just the way he's racing just at the current, we probably don't want to overdrive him. So we'll just sort of play it out and see how he is. But he is on the way up, I think, and I think if the right horse turns up, he'll be with a shot.
Okay, race number 6 for the mares. This is the Quali over the mile. She's got bling. You know this mare really well. There's not a great deal between these mares on a Saturday night, and that seems to be the case. If they race on the Tuesday and then they're racing again on the Saturday night, there's not that big of a difference, is there?
No, not really. This sort of race has sort of turned into probably a midweek sort of race, and this mare, she's ultra consistent, only pretty lowly assessed, and she does look like she's going to win one of these mares qualies. So fingers crossed Saturday night's the night.
You've got some speed though on your inside, in particular with She's a Lucky Lady in gate 2. That could be a little bit of a nuisance for you.
Yeah, definitely. She has got good gate speed, but she is better when it's not used. So we'll probably have to drop her in somewhere and wait for late.
All right, race 8, another mare's quali, and you're driving Hammer Time Harley. I'm tipping you'd have been disappointed when the fields were released and you saw gate 7, because she's going well enough to win one, but gate 7, it does make it tough now. Yeah,
they sort of program these races on the ratings, and which is the reason why you get less quality horses in it. And the good quality mares that probably should be winning it, it sort of becomes a mission impossible as they keep drawing bad. So, she was really good last week, and I think she will win one, but I don't know if this week's going to be a bit of a big ask from the gate 7. But, you know, she's obviously gate 7 for a reason too.
Do you use her early from 7?
Yeah, a little unknown yet. We'll just have to sort of wait and see what sort of speed's inside of us.
Okay, just looking back at that run last week against Blue Ivy, they went good time. This probably looks a little easier.
Yeah, I sort of think so, but you know, obviously last week she got a really good trip, and this week it's going to be hard to navigate a good trip from out at 7. So, you know, we'll just have to sort of cross our fingers and hopefully something works out.
Okay, race 9, the free for all. You're driving Will the Wizard. I'm fascinated to see what you think about this guy from last week. How did you grade him last week when he was 4th?
Yeah, I was really happy with him. Obviously, you know, the last half was, you know, exceptionally fast, and you know, 26.6 off the back, and he was absolutely jogging doing that. So, really happy with the way he raced. Really happy with just sort of how he did it, and was able to sit him in and hit the line really good. So, this week's a little bit tricky. Not a lot of speed to the inside. Whether or not we use him, I'm still a little unsure. But you know, all in all, I think the horse is going really good. We've just got to work out, you know, or teach him how to race in these open class races. Obviously, his best sort of style, you know, running hard. You can't sort of do that week in, week out in the open. So we're going to have to sort of teach him a whole new method. So hopefully, hopefully we can sort of work something out and get him to sort of, you know, moving forward. Hopefully he'll sort of learn how to do that and become a better racehorse.
What's the gut feeling? Do you want to use him early? Do you want to cross Clintledoo?
Well, they do call me Leader Peter, but we'll have to wait and see.
This time last year, he was contesting the Chariots of Fire himself.
He certainly was, and you know, that sort of shows how much class the horse has got. But sometimes he can sort of, you know, go a little hard, or just, you know, tractability sort of gets him beat sometimes. But you know, hopefully now following the opens and following good speed, he'll learn how to race, and hopefully can make it so he can be around for a long period of time.
LL Cool J, Mr. Freeze, are they the hardest to beat?
Yeah, definitely. You know, LL Cool J got beat last week, but you know, far from disgraced. And Mr. Freeze, he was obviously had a good trip last week, but the week before I think was even more impressive when he come from back and wicked splits.
Okay, in the last race, the Trot, you're driving Doug. He's got a 35-metre handicap, and it's only 2,138 metres. Is that too big a task for him?
I don't think it's too big of a task, but it certainly makes it tough because you know, he's sort of, fingers crossed, he's been stepping pretty safe, but still pretty slow. So that 35 metres turns into 50 pretty quick, and you know, over the 2,100 metres, you sort of got to chase pretty hard, and it's sort of, if you don't get the right helmet or things don't work out, you get too far back, and then it becomes mission impossible. So, you know, start's all important, and you know, what happens up the front can be important too.
And those off the front that are in good form and have good claims here, Van Sank, Millpark, Magic, they could make life tough.
Yeah, that's sort of, you know, horses that sort of usually have pretty good manners, and they sort of step and roll. So, you know, they probably aren't quite of the ability of Doug. Obviously, Doug's pretty good when he's 100% right, but you know, if we're giving him a bit of a head start, it certainly makes him hard.
All right, it's a busy night for you. Which one are you keen on most at this early stage?
Yeah, it's a tricky night. Yeah, there's probably no real standout, and I'll be happy if I just get a winner. Saturday nights haven't been real kind since Christmas, so fingers crossed we can step up our game a bit and get a winner.
We only had 315 last year, so we'll see how you go for 2022, but I'm sure those winners won't be too far away, in particular on the Saturday night. As always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries, thank you.